Oh, sorry guys, I got cut off again. So here we go. Again, just real roughly here. He created man from a clot. Again, this is all about the bloodlines, Mary Magdalene, all of it, okay? Who teaches by the pen. Again, he taught man what he did not know. So did the fallen angels. This is all Lucifer. This is all Antichrist here, okay? From a clot. This is what Kleck will lead you to. And again, like I said, I could not stress enough when I saw that, you know, because I kept asking, there's a mount right there. Yeah. When I kept asking about the cave and the representation, what does it mean? What was it? What was going on within the cave? And then here you have people of the cave and Revenant were too wonderful for our signs. I had to keep going. So I was brought here. I was brought here. Bible warnings about Islam and Muhammad. And I'm giving it to you the way I received it. All right? Okay. Jesus predicted Muhammad, the angel, and Islam. And here we have all about, you know, let no man deceive you. Many antichrist, false prophets, you know, deceive the very elect. Okay, I'm just skimming through this, okay? And I found it really important, this here, Isaiah 45:19, God said, I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. So here we are talking about the cave, a dark place of the earth. Nothing of God was coming through that cave. Nothing of God. Because caves are dark places, are they not? And he tells you strictly, Isaiah 45:19, that we were not to receive an angel from heaven. And this is what Jonathan Kleck did. The angel from heaven preaching any other gospel, which was death. To you that we have not preached, let him be accursed. Galatians 1:6. An angel from heaven. This was Gabriel. Kleck, it was the archangel Michael. Any man preaching another gospel. Muhammad preached the gospel of the Quran. Kleck, the gospel of death. He taught you death. There is no way that the archangel Michael would have forced himself on anyone. Never forced himself on Daniel. He actually touched Daniel. He didn't force himself on Zechariah. He didn't force himself on Mary. He comforted them by calling them by name, letting them know not to be afraid. So this was definitely not the archangel Michael. This was demonic. This was, if you want to say, Satan himself, you know, the Antichrist spirit. He was very concerned, Muhammad, that the source of the revelations were from jinns. Very concerned. Oh, here we go here. Muhammad feared revelations came from jinns. When in seclusion, I hear someone calling and saying, this is Muhammad speaking, O Muhammad, I fear that it is one of the jinns. The Quran says that the jinn were created from the smokeless, scorching fire. Messenger of Allah used to have a talisman against the evil eye before the revelations descended on him, after the Quran had descended on him and he was afflicted with something of the evil eye. So he tells you himself, okay? He, Muhammad, said, there came to me an inventor or half of the jinn, and I went along with him and recited to them the Quran. This is all in cave. Okay, so I'll leave that if you want to go into it more. Okay, so now this is where I'm led to. Okay, I just punched in Google and I'm looking for symbology and all that. Okay, so again, this is, I'm going as I received it. Okay, the cave is yet another cell to the matrix. Caves have rather a unique role to play in a spiritual travel. They are a spiritual sort of portal, being the start of most shamans, Indians, and other spiritual explorers, journeyers. But they may also be used to show things, a sort of observation chamber of mysteries. Now listen carefully. Thus to the Persians, I think that's what it says, by teaching him the downward way of the souls and their way back, and calling the place Agredo. He always talks about the downward way of the soul and the way back. The caves once experienced as one goes deeper into represents the deep subconscious, and right now he's all gung-ho and puffed up about this. The hidden part of the soul itself. They often hide truths which can be a shock or are less palatable, but which nevertheless need to be unearthed because they often hold back one's spiritual progress, or if you'd like, on a more prosaic level, make your life miserable without you understanding why. Symbolically, one always goes down, not up, in a spiritual cave travel. The caves one sees in spiritual experiences are, generally speaking, your own. Okay. The Egyptians developed a complete system of travel at this level, going from mount to mount and cave to cave as the soul traveled round the egg on the way. The mounts were even numbered and counted and color-coded, as Klek is today, color-coded, to recognize oneself. Thus, in ancient Egypt culture, the cave, as mentioned in the Book of the Dead, is just one of the many landmarks or hazards to be, negotiated. The cave as a spiritual porter within your own soul, the entrance way to get into the labyrinth of caves that exist below earth level is often, not surprisingly, a cave. Now, okay, let's see. The caves can go deep into the subconscious, many level downs, not just to, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to read that again. Okay. As one can see, the cave network can be huge, complex. This is to me the tower. This is the Freedom Tower, and here we are 70 feet or whatever it is below level, where the families are crying because they have their families being put out there for everyone to see, to pay to see them at the cost of $24. Okay, so here's again the cave. The caves can go deep into the subconscious, many level downs, not just to the underworld, but to the levels of hell. As such, you need to be well prepared for what you may see here. Okay, and I'm just going to let you go through all of that if you want. Again, this is the Freedom Tower to me. This is the base where the reptilians are. This is the egg. This is a cave. Tunnel goes downwards. So then I was led here. So here we're back in Egypt, and again, hidden chambers discovered in the peak of the Great Pyramid. I remember watching this with my husband. I remember this. There was a hook or something that they couldn't get through, and then I just left it at that. I never followed through with it. And what a surprise I got when I seen this. So I identified right away. Okay, let me just read this real quick. The fiber optic probe traveled upward into the shaft for several yards, turning and twisting until it came to an opened chamber, approximately 10 feet deep and 5 feet high. What it revealed inside the chamber was shocking. Standing in the middle of the room in front of the second doorway was a skeleton remains of an animal, but this was no ordinary animal. It appeared to be a large cat with a deformed human head standing guard in front of the entrance to the second chamber. Oh, yeah. When the image of the animal was displayed on the video monitor, several scientists thought that it could be the actual remains of one of ancient Egypt's most revered mythical half-cat, half-human beasts. Could this be the proof that they were real? The skeleton was scrutinized for nearly 3 hours by explorers, staff, and the image was aired at real time around the world to several major universities. What the beast is remains a mystery, but one thing has been determined: it is the real skeleton, not a sculpture or a creation of an ancient taxidermist. The probe continued past the skeleton and slowly made its way through the second opening into the main chamber. The small light that was in I can't read that for the fiber optic probe scanned the pitchfork room for several minutes. It appeared to be empty. The chamber was much too large for the tiny light to illuminate. So a second more efficient light was sent down. When it did, it revealed a much larger chamber, and the video probe turned and faced directly in the room, and more shocking sight greeted the scientists. In the middle of the stone chamber was a golden sphere about 1 foot in diameter, floating in the air about 18 inches from the ground. What happened to Muhammad, and what was going on with Mary Magdalene? Look at this, the cross. One pillar, I only see one. Oh, this is not done yet.